So he has fought Amir Khan at Canelo weight, a welterweight, Miguel Cotto at Canelo weight, a Miguel Cotto whose power, in my opinion, never really carried up from 147 pounds, my personal opinion, a James Kirkland, who was all for God knows how long, no Ann Wolf, and then that very, very, very controversial fight with Erislandy Lara. My personal opinion about that fight is, I can see how the fight was a draw. I can see how people say Lara won off the clean, punching. And I can see how people are pissed that it was, what judge was that? Levi Martinez, that 117, 111 card, that just was, he must have got an envelope with some cash in it. Somebody slipped him an envelope and said, you know what to do. And then before that, he fought Alfredo Angulo. And then, of course, Floyd Mayweather. So if you look at those opponents, if you look at that resume, Alfredo Angulo was a quality name for a comeback fight at that time. Erislandy Lara was a fight that nobody expected to happen. Oscar De La Hoya was in rehab when Canelo Alvarez went to the Golden Boy offices and told Richard Schaefer, like, yo, he's clowning me on social media. He's talking all this shit. I want him. Now, many are asking, well, why won't Golovkin do what Canelo did? And as far as saying, like, listen, this guy's coming up behind me with his Lance Vance GTA Vice City, Miami Vice suit on, all over my shoulder, like, Canelo. Remember, he was talking all that shit, on social media and everything. But then, when he confronted Canelo, at the post-fight press conference of Angulo, the Angulo fight, he was like in the back looking all awkward and shit. Go watch it. Go watch the post-fight press conference. But he called them out. Erislandy Lara got what he wanted. Canelo got what he wanted. It was the biggest fight of Erislandy Lara's career. He was on All Access. He was on pay-per-view. His first $1 million fight. He hasn't done shit since. I would love to see a Canelo versus Lara rematch, but with the way Golden Boy Promotions is just babying, Canelo's career, like with the way they're handling his career, to me, it's like, they are trying to build him up as much as they possibly can before he potentially takes another loss against Golovkin. Get him as much money as possible, build his name up, so therefore when he loses to Golovkin, if he loses, let me correct myself, if he loses to Golovkin, we'll still be able to market him. Now, in the meantime, Golden Boy Promotions is also building up their other fighters. They're signing so many fighters. I got a press release today. They were saying they signed some other Mexican fighters or Hispanic fighters. So they're building up their stars, but right now Canelo is the #1 guy, and they want to make Canelo as much money as possible. And fighting Liam Smith, in Cowboys Stadium, what are the pay-per-view buys really going to be? I could see if he would have went over to the UK and fought Liam Smith like Golovkin did, but I'm wondering, like, it's for a belt. The selling point of this fight is it's for a belt. That's the selling point. It's the WBO 154-pound championship. Because what happened was, Canelo vacated his WBC title. Golovkin was awarded that WBC title at 160 pounds. And what would have happened is, if Canelo would have not fought Golovkin and stayed at 155 or 160, he would have been stripped. So therefore, people would have been saying, like, yo, you saying you're not a real middleweight, but you're still fighting at middleweight and you gave up your belt. So technically, if you really think about it, he had to go back down to 154. And that's what I noticed over his last several fights. I'm going to say between the Lara, Kirkland, Miguel Cotto, and Amir Khan fights, he's been getting, it seems to me, and I'm going to go and look, he's been getting lighter with each 30-day weigh-in. So he's been slowly working himself down to be able to make that 154-pound limit comfortably. Now, Liam Smith and his team is saying that if Canelo doesn't make weight on Friday, right now we're September the 14th, 2016, 11:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, we're close to only about 3 days away. Well, 2 days away. So the question, the things we're going to talk about now is, can Liam Smith win? Now, I'm waiting for some confirmation from Golden Boy, because I want to upload some of their stuff from Liam Smith. And you should go watch his fights. He's not bad. Now, I understand people say, he only has 13 knockouts, but those 13 knockouts has come recently. You know, as far as within his last, 7, 8 fights. So, he does have some knockout power. But the biggest question is, will his chin hold up? And also, he's a bigger fighter than Amir Khan. I'm talking about as far as body. You know, he's a bigger fighter than Miguel Cotto, a bigger fighter than Erislandy Lara. And, you know, he's not, James Kirkland's a big dude, and but he's short. You know, I think, how tall is James Kirkland? Let me go look at that real quick. About 5'9". Okay, well, yeah, he's about Canelo's height. You know, a little shorter. I mean, a little bit taller. But he's going against another undefeated fighter that can bang to the body. Remember a fighter by the name of Jose Miguel Cotto, who rocked Canelo, and what was that? I forgot what round that was. Rocked it. You know, Canelo had like the leg, you know, he had the stinky leg. So what if Liam Smith can do that? You know, what if Liam Smith seen that Kell Brook fight and said, yo, you know, I'm inspired. I'm going to go out here and try to fuck Canelo up. Also, when you have Ring Magazine trainer Joe Gallagher, trainer of the year, you know, I'm sure he's got to have something up his sleeve. This is a huge fight for them, especially for the UK fans. You know, this is a huge fight for them. They're taking this shit really seriously. And also remember, even though it's just 1 pound, and even though Canelo has weighed in at 154.5, you know, for the James Kirkland fight. Now, with Amir Khan fight, he weighed in exactly 155. The Miguel Cotto fight exactly at 155. You know, the James Kirkland fight, 154.5. Erislandy Lara exactly at 155 pounds. And Fredo Angulo was how Canelo weight started, because Canelo, the fight was originally contracted to be at 154 pounds, right? They did some old slick shit where the day of the weigh-in, Canelo wasn't going to make weight. They gave Alfredo Angulo some extra money and changed the fight to Canelo weight, which was 155 pounds. Because Canelo was really having some major troubles at that point in time getting that pound off. You see what I'm saying? So now he's back at 154 pounds. As I said, he's been getting lighter. How is that 1 pound going to affect him? And to make things worse, you know, HBO wants him to fight Kell Brook. If he beats Liam Smith. But if Liam Smith wins, then you're going to have a big, huge fight over there for Kell Brook. You know, between Liam Smith and Kell Brook for that WBO title. And that would be Eddie Hearn's dream come true. Well, Kell Brooks, we don't know. You know, I don't really know because I'm not from the UK. I'm still learning on, you know, what's going on with the relationship of Kell Brook and Liam Smith. You know, I'm still learning, you know, I mean, not Kell Brook, Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn. And we know Eddie Hearn fighters fight exclusively on Sky Sports. And Liam Smith is a Frank Warren guy. He fights on BoxNation. So I want to know, like, how do they come together, like, for that? I know it would have to happen, you know, but how do they come together for that? Remember, Frank Warren said he offered Kell Brook, you know what, like 600. What do you guys call over there? Quid? 600,000 quid or something like that for the fight, and he turned it down. But we know why he fought Golovkin, you know. And he would have made a little more fighting, you know, Jesse Vargas. So there is a what's called a media roundtable discussion that went on earlier today. Remember, September the 14th. So it was the media workouts for Canelo, you know, today, and Chepo, his trainer, manager, Eric Gomez, the vice president of Golden Boy Promotions, and Joe Gallagher was doing an interview with the media. And it's you know, it's crazy that Golovkin versus Brook happened just last week, so therefore that's still fresh in people's minds, and that's all the questions that Canelo has been dealing with in his team this whole fight week, to the point where on that media roundtable, which is you can go check it out, it's on the channel, when they was talking to the media, they was curving this shit out, those Golovkin questions, to the point where they said, listen, we're not going to talk about it, we're going to focus on Liam Smith and you know, talk about whatever we got to talk about with Golovkin later, because even though he's fighting at 154 pounds, right, for the championship, he's still 160 pounds, what, the Lenio Ring Magazine champion. So, you know, come on, smart fans know the deal. if you know how the politics of the sport works, Canelo's not scared. It's just that Golden Boy does not want him to fight Canelo. Does not want him to fight Golovkin right now. They don't want it. They don't want him to. They don't want him to fight Golovkin right now. It's just simple as shit. It's simple. It's simple. It's plain as day. And it's been just messed up because me being a big Oscar De La Hoya fan, pre-drag, still a fan of him, as a boxer and always has been, and also, I could relate with him, over the issues that he had with the rehab, but the issue is now he's somewhat of a hypocrite, and it's a shame because, like, I know that they have some type of plan. And when it comes to Bernard Hopkins, who's a partner with Golden Boy Promotions, you can tell he don't like to talk about this shit. Because like watch Bernard Hopkins interviews. You can tell he really don't like to talk about it. Because he knows that Canelo should be fighting Golovkin. Canelo owes the Mexican fan base a lot. Mexican warriors don't, they don't drop their belts. And also for him to say that they don't fuck around. Listen, Liam Smith has a chance. Of course, every boxer has a chance, right? People thought that Kell Brook was going to get annihilated. Yeah, he got his fucking goddamn eye socket broken. Yeah, he got his fucking... Yeah, he fucking got his fucking eye socket broken. But he did way better than people thought he was going to do. Especially with the clean punches he was landing on Golovkin. The uppercuts, that straight. What can Liam Smith do? Can he hold up to the power? Can he hold up to the power? Can he hold up? In my personal opinion, because he's a natural 154-pounder, I feel, just my personal opinion, right? My personal opinion is that he's a harder puncher than Miguel Cotto. And he's a harder puncher. I'm talking about at 154. Because remember, I believe that Miguel Cotto's power never really carried up. From 147. There's been questions there. I feel that he's a harder puncher than Miguel Cotto at 154. And a harder puncher than Erislandy Lara. James Kirkland couldn't get to him. Alfredo Nkulo couldn't get to him. Americana's a 147-pound fighter. You see what I'm saying? So either he's been fighting guys that's been slower than him. It's been excellent matchmaking on that part. He's been fighting guys that he's been bigger than, fighting guys he's been slower than. That's been slower than him, or fighting guys that well, I was going to say faster than the same thing saying guys that are slower than Outside of the Erislandy Lara fight, that's been his only real test. I never thought Miguel Cotto would be able to beat him. It is what it is. Let me look at one thing really quick before I go. We're going to be doing a live stream the day before the fight. Yeah, Liam Smith is as far as he's fought at super middleweight, even though he weighed in at 158. He fought at super middleweight, a guy who weighed in above the 160-pound limit. This is a guy who, he's a full-fledged 154-pounder. And he's had in his last, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 straight knockouts or stoppages. 8 straight knockouts or stoppages. So, Somebody's also told me to watch a fight between him and, was it Stephen Kelly? It's somebody, Jim Kelly. I watched that fight. They said he was giving him trouble. I got to go back and watch it again, even though he got the stoppage. So, you may not know who Liam Smith is, but over in the UK, he's a pretty well-known name from the Smith family. You got Paul Smith, Stephen Smith, you got Caleb Smith. I shouldn't have to educate you. Go look it up. Please subscribe. We're going to get deep into the predictions with an hour-long stream tomorrow or definitely Friday, about a couple hours after the weigh-in. I'm T-Street Controversy. This is T-Street Controversy Live. Please subscribe. Oh, and by the way, all the links to my social media are right down below in the description box. And I've been uploading just fight week promotion shit. Promoting the fight and shit. Highlights and, and whatnot. Please subscribe.